Hello and welcome. So I thought it'd be kind of fun for me, mostly for me, to do a little overview of what I want to get done this year in 2021 so that I can go back to it at the end of 2021 and see how much of it I just didn't get to. Because let's be honest, 2 toddlers and a whole lot of garden projects and a slight fear of bees, slight being a lot, there's a good chance some of it's not going to get done, but I'm really hopeful. I have a lot of big plans. So first one I want to do is what's absolutely going to happen. You may have seen my seeds starting set up behind me there. That's definitely happening. I am definitely starting seeds. That is my favorite part of the year. I've got a whole box full of seed packets. That'll definitely be happening. The next thing that I would like to get done this year is at the very bottom of our yard. We live on an acre. It's all uphill, and it's slightly a challenge for the gardening aspect because I eventually would like to do the terracing, but we have to contend with the front yard having the septic field and the septic tank. It's part of country living. We have the well, and so I'm trying to be creative with how I go about doing our yard landscaping, but I would really like to have a front yard where I have winding paths, where I could feel like I'm walking down a nature trail in my own front yard. So I want to have an area where we can have berry bushes so the birds can come in and feed, and also have a place where they can make nests. And so I want to start this path project at the base of the road. I have this plan that I'll put a picture of an arched wooden archway with plants or roses or something. I haven't decided what plant I'm going to have climb it yet. Climbing up it, and then a long drift of lavender and different bushes, and then wood chip pathways that are going to wind all around the front yard and up the hill, and eventually parts of it will be terraced, where we can terrace it to not mess with any of the stuff that's going on underground. I also want to be able to take this space, and I want it to just be a tranquil, beautiful spot where you can meander down the path and then just sit on a bench and just kind of hang out, and my girls can wander as they're growing and find flowers, and we can do projects with those flowers, or we can pick a bouquet and bring it to a friend, or pick some bouquets and take them to a nursing home. It's kind of area where I want them to go out and be inspired, and I really would like a front yard with no grass in it. I mean, obviously you got to have some grass because, like I said, we have the septic and everything out there. We need some grass out there. But my goal is to have so much other stuff going on that the grass is kind of an afterthought, hanging out in the yard. So that's the big project for this year, is starting that pathway. And I know we definitely will not get it all done this year. We will not be able to get all the way from the base of the road, an acre away, all the way up the hill. But we're going to start it this year. That's my plan. And I have a plan to make that arched arbor myself. I have a design in mind, and a lot of what we want to do is very fantasy themed. It would not be a surprising thing to have a fairy sculpture hanging out in the garden, or just randomly like a little dragon popping its head out, because that's just our thing. That's our aesthetic. That's what we enjoy. So that's the big project for this year. Other projects that I want to start is I have come to a new fascination of working with cement. And I know I could easily go and find and pay probably a high dollar for a nice cement pot or a bird bath or a fountain. Yes, I can go do that, and I can save myself a lot of time and probably a lot of stress, but where's the fun in that? I like to learn new things. So I spent all last winter and part of this fall watching videos on how to do this stuff myself, and I'm going to attempt doing it. I've already started a little bit. I made an okay bowl that I'm going to put out in the garden and still use because I made it, so why not use it? I'm going to still practice, and I'm going to keep trying to get a little bit more refined. I have a lot of hobbies, a lot of skill sets. I get to a point, I won't say a jack of all trades type situation, but I get to a point where I get good or okay at one thing and I get bored, so I move on to the next thing. So I'm kind of taking a little bit of what I learned from ceramic and pottery and pulling it into the cement thing. And I'm hoping that, combined with my knowledge of making silicone molds and my husband's 3D printing, we can kind of come up with some cool stuff for the garden. So I'm gonna work on my cement creations so that I can have a random assortment of things out there in my, not just on my garden path in the front yard, but in the backyard, in the vegetable garden, in the kids' play area. But I would like to have most of our stuff be stuff that we designed ourselves. So that's also something that I'm working on, that I'm hoping at the end of this year, I can say in my video, I definitely did that, because that's something I'm really interested in being able to learn how to do, is work with cement. Other than that, for big projects, I have a desire to get a lot of fruiting plants planted this year. This is gonna be the hard one, because planting trees on a property that is a giant slope, I don't really know where to do that yet. I'm still working on the research of that. I would like to put some in our backyard, but I do need to have a tree removed back there, which I have talked about in another video a while ago. The tree is slowly coming down, but getting trees that are fruiting back there, that's my challenge, because we also have more slope back there. Our land levels out for the house and a little bit of the backyard, and then goes right up a hill into a cornfield. So I'm trying to find the best place for some fruiting trees. I want to have a couple apple, a couple of pear, some cherry. Cherry I might not do. I've heard some stuff about cherry with our area as far as pests go, and also the freeze time. We don't actually get that cold here. We get a couple of cold days, and that's pretty much it. Our neighbor has a peach tree. So I'm thinking if I plant one peach tree, they might cross-pollinate each other. I won't need more than one. And I am the only one who eats peaches here, so I don't need a whole lot of those. But my big wants is currants. I love currants. Black currants are not allowed in the state of West Virginia. I know that. Red, pink, and white currants, I need to have permission, I believe. So I'm working on trying to find out who I get that permission from, and also what I need to get companies to send me these currant bushes, because I know a lot of them I need to have some kind of permission from an extension office or an agricultural office or something. So I'm trying to figure all that out. But eventually, at some point, someday, I will have currants. There's no pine trees around me. I know pine trees are the reason why currants shouldn't be grown. We've got nothing here for that. It's all cornfields. And yeah, so fruiting plants, not just for us, but also I would like to get some berries planted for the birds that are not edible for us, but attract the birds, because I love having the birds to watch. And I want to grow our strawberry patch. Right now it's contained to a raised bed. Pretty decent size amount of them, but I want to get a lot more. Haven't quite decided how or when or if I'm doing blueberries. We're not big blueberry eaters, so I think if we didn't go with those ones, it would not be that big of a deal. But I did plant a whole bunch of raspberries, and they all got attacked by bindweed, so I have to restart that whole thing. That was pretty sad. It was like 15 plants that all just didn't survive because the bindweed came through and just covered the entire area that I planted them in. And then I had 2 blackberry bushes out by the spruce trees, and the deer came and ate them. So that was something else I've got to consider with my front yard project, is we've got deer. They got a lot to eat. They got the soy fields, the corn fields. We see them out there all the time. But I'm sure anything I plant will be on the top of their menu, because I don't see a whole lot of people gardening around me. So those are my projects, my big projects for this year that I want to try and tackle. And I am really hoping when I do this video again at the end of 2021, I can say that I have had 100% success in starting all of them. We'll see. Again, 2 toddlers, you never know. You don't know what's going to happen, or how this year is going to go. So, but anyway, so if you're interested to see if I did actually get any of this stuff done, stay tuned, because at the end of the year I will do a recap video, and also I will be doing videos along the way with all these things that I do plan on doing. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye!